Starting out in the middle of nowhere was where one huge adventure began for one teenage kid. On his quest, he explored lands as far as the eye can see in the Ore region, came across many destinations along the way, some pleasant, some not so pleasant. He also encountered many different people who unfortunately proved to him that not everybody can be trusted. And although this kid has faced many different obstacles within his journey, he always managed to come out on top, proving that he is the hero of this story. Discovering some of the coolest Pokémon to be found in the Ore region, conducting some very vigorous training, the true hero of the story eventually makes the ultimate capture ever, putting an end to evil organization Cypher's plans to create and control shadow Pokémon. His journey is far from over. Hello and welcome back to Pokemon Colosseum. My gosh, it feels so good to be back. I have actually not sat down and recorded anything in quite some time, and I think it's now time that we get back to our adventure here at Colosseum, because as you know, at the end of the last episode, which was technically the finale, we learned that there is still more to do here in the Ore region. We actually got an email from Sek of Pyrite Town, the little kiddo that actually resides in that little secret area, cave area in the building that Duking's in. He basically lets us know that there are more suspicious looking Pokemon, specifically within Pyrite Town. So that is actually where we are going to be heading next. We've been there plenty of times, but I guess we're going to have to make another visit once again. Just kind of going through my list of Pokemon here. You will notice that there are some Shadow Pokemon that will be added to your Shadow list, even though you have not actually encountered them. But now it's time to go ahead and head over to Pyrite Town to take a look at what is going on here. After arriving, we'll go ahead and head straight over to where Sek is located, which is again that building that Duking resides in with the big old C on it. Can never forget that. And we'll just kind of pass by Duking. He's not really important anymore. We don't really need to talk to him. And we'll head into this cave once again. And oh, hi guys, we just got some news. There's this rogue called Kale who hangs around Pyrite's entrance. It sounds like Kale recently battled this creepy trainer. They say that this trainer used some weird Pokemon. I think you should have a talk with Kale about this. Alright, so this guy we have encountered before, obviously at the beginning, very early on in the adventure. Kids Grid. It's the song for Kids Grid. I wrote it. Isn't it easy to learn? I suppose. Big people, you're awesome. You're fighting the bad guys, aren't you? I'll help you when I get bigger. Oh, kid, I think you have a few more years in you. I think we're too young, let alone to be taking this on ourselves anyways. Hi, big people. Is Plusle doing good? Well, I hate to break this to you, but we have really not used Plusle at all in our adventure. That's something I don't actually think I ever mentioned, is Plusle is the only non-Shadow Pokemon that you obtain in this game, or at least during the main story. And I just never felt the need to use it. And I never really pointed out that I was not using it. I just kind of made a big deal when we got it because it was kind of a cool little scene that was shown. But anyways, talking to Kale. Yo, we meet again, huh? About the Shadow Pokemon. Oh yeah, I remember battling one, sure. I'd be willing to share what I know with you, but only if you can beat me. You ready? So we are once again battling with Rogue Kale. So this guy is still really not up to any good. He was kind of a mystery in the very beginning of the adventure, and he kind of comes full circle here, knowing that we are at the very end of the game. And it appears that he knows more secrets of Shadow Pokemon. So this is kind of a nice little callback to the early days of Pokemon Colosseum, where, you know, when you first arrive in Pyrite Town, you get word that this Kale fellow knows something about Shadow Pokemon. So here we are again, talking to him and battling it out for some more useful information. So yeah, just a nice little callback. I love when games do things like that, where they, you know, kind of circle things back to where the, you know, kind of the story starts, and they kind of drop certain moments like that again later on. So, but this time around, we have a fully evolved, fully trained up team here, and we are ready to do some damage. He is really not a pushover this time around. All of his Pokemon should be fully evolved at this point. But the first battle, he has like a Ralts and a lot of lower level Pokemon that are, you know, not really evolved. This time around, he's got it fully evolved to a Gardevoir. He still has that Granbull from the last time we faced off with him. We actually fought him, I think, 2 times before. This is actually our 3rd time fighting him. So, yeah, he has not wasted any time at all. He now also has a Shiftry, which is fully evolved from his Seedot, which he had a Nuzleaf the last time we faced off with him as well. So yeah, as you can see, like I said, I've, you know, kind of mentioned this several times throughout this playthrough already, but I just love when we see these, you know, trainers that we have faced off with grow their Pokemon up, and it really shows that, again, they are not really sitting around just doing nothing while we, you know, kind of do what we need to do here in our adventure. They are also getting things done, and they are training as well. And it's kind of cool that, especially at this point where this is kind of more of a scripted part of the game where you're supposed to come back and do this because you have to learn more about these Shadow Pokemon. So the fact that the game kind of tells you to come back here to refight Kale, and giving you a chance to kind of see how his team has evolved and changed throughout the course of the game is just a cool little thing that I once again love that they do in games. Especially knowing that in Pokemon, you know, your Pokemon can change quite a bit depending on how well you train them and level them up. And these trainers that we are facing off with here that you would never really think about twice after the first encounter are doing the exact same thing that we're doing. So that's just really cool. I probably rambled a little too much on about that, but I just really love it. And I have to say, I have to kind of speak my mind about things like that. So as you can see, he is actually kind of, you know, we're kind of getting our ass handed by him here in this battle. Once again, he is pretty strong. His Pokemon are going to be pretty close to level 60. And as you can see, my Pokemon are not quite at that pace yet. We are getting closer there. We have Pokemon pretty much over level 50 at this point, with the one exception of Scorch, because he was very underutilized throughout the main story. But this battle is not over yet because we have a lot of things we can still do to him. And again, he is strong, but he is not impossible. So just keep that in mind. But this is a very tough battle going into this. This is not something you would expect from this guy, especially right off the very beginning of the post game here, where, you know, obviously the trainers are going to be a lot higher level because this is late game stuff going on here. But this guy is not one that you would think would be this powerful already. So. But he's going to send out Machamp now. I want to say he had Machoke last time we fought with him. I do believe he did. So that's another very fully evolved Pokemon. A lot more threatening. Machamp is, if I remember correctly, it has a pretty strong attack power. And most of the Machamp I've ever faced in any Pokemon game has been, you know, including Elite Four battles, has been quite a, you know, quite a lot to take down. So he's definitely not going to be easy. Let's just say that. So. But luckily we have some pretty strong Pokemon out here in front. Flashlight obviously has shown us that it can do quite a bit of damage with Thunderbolts. It also knows Protect, which in this specific case right now would be probably the most useful time to use it because of this Earthquake. I forgot that Machamp actually knew it, and as you can see, it went down. So yeah, he is actually not a stranger to using this Earthquake strategy as well. Believe it or not, I want to say Earthquake is one of the more frequently used moves apart from Solar Beam in this game, which I think is very kind of shocking because this game, I can't really think of a lot of Pokemon games in particular, even like some of the main games that you have like even gym battles that use one very specific strategy over and over again. That's very hard to counteract. Again, unless you have a Pokemon that knows Protect, or you have Pokemon that are a little bit more defensive overall, you know, kind of navigating around this Earthquake strategy can be kind of annoying because it can do a lot of damage. And again, if your defense stats aren't quite where they need to be, then you could be in trouble very easily. So Kind of cool to see that happen here, but we got Shift Reparalyzed. It is the last Pokemon remaining. Go and kind of end this battle quickly, and right when I say that, he uses a Hyper Potion, so that's always good. Not really for my case, at least in this specific scenario. But again, we're going to just hit him with full force power here and see if we can take him down as fast as possible. Yeah, so the trainers, like I said before, don't really use a lot of potions or healing items in this game at all. Really the only time we've seen that was in the final round of battles when we were facing off with those trainers at the top of Realgam Tower. Especially like the final boss fights, like Nascore, I believe he used like a potion or two. I want to say Evice definitely used some items as well. It's not that common though, I will say. At this point of the game, you're going to see it more, but again, it's not something that really is that big of a deal and nothing to be concerned about. So we defeated Kale for the 3rd time. That trainer, he used the Shadow Quilava. The trainer's name was... I forgot. He did say something about the Snag'em hideout, though. Well, that's very useful information. I will say I'm surprised he actually gave us something to go on. Heading back into this hotel, if you actually talk to this woman here, that Mirror B, who was he? Do you know? Might he have something to do with that woman in the under? Kind of cool how they talk a little bit more about Mirror B and Venus. Some of the citizens here are a little bit curious about their whereabouts. Exiting Pyrite Town, we actually have another new location that we can travel to, and as you can see, it is the one and only Snag'em Hideout, the former base of Team Snag'em that was completely destroyed in a catastrophic explosion. Never seen this place other than the very intro scene of the game. It's time we finally head out and see what this place is all about. So upon entering, you can see this place is pretty tore up from the floor up, it looks like. I guess you can see why Wes didn't want to stay here. No, he actually is the reason why this place is essentially destroyed completely, because he blew it up in an explosion when he left. As soon as we enter the door, we get an email, of course. Quilava trainer from Sec and Pyrite. Hi, big guys. Kale wanted me to tell you that the Shadow Quilava's trainer is named Rosso. Please take care. Rosso is actually one of the 3 mystery troop that you have the opportunity of fighting early on in the game in Fennec. Once again, we went with Verde because I decided to choose Bayleaf to have on my team instead of Quilava or Crokinole. But if you aren't, if you're kind of paying attention here and kind of figuring out what's going on here, and especially if you looked at your snag list, you will see that the game has given you an opportunity to catch the other 2 Johto starters, the evolved Johto starters, I should say. So we're going to have a bunch of different fights that are going to happen here kind of uncontrollably. A lot of these Cypher peons will kind of jump down from the ceiling like they're very well known of doing. Of course, it's their MO. And I really don't feel the need to show a lot of these. I'm probably going to cut every single one of these out unless I come across some of the trainers that have Shadow Pokemon. Obviously, those will be shown. But this is kind of annoying. And again, it's just kind of another location where the game just kind of throws these trainers at you kind of constantly, and you're just doing a lot of battling once again. Hi, it's Ned. I analyzed the Shadow Pokemon list again and discovered 6 more. The additions are Tyranitar, Mischievous, Slugma, Smeargle, Absol, and Heracross. I'll send another update if I can. So Ned is now going to, since he's able to decipher the information from that data ROM that we gave him, way long time ago, he's now going to send you lists of Shadow Pokemon that you've either already encountered or haven't encountered yet. It's kind of useless. I don't really know why they feel the need to send that when your snag list has all of the Pokemon in a list right there anyways. But he's, doing what he said he was going to do. He's helped us out, even though we have already taken on, the big bad, the head of all this operation, which was Evice. But, of course, we still have Shadow Pokemon left to capture, so he's just making sure that we have everything that we need. But I think they actually do this mainly in case, you aren't aware of what Pokemon you need to capture. But again, the snag list is essentially the same way of kind of finding that out, so... Right, so we are actually going to be facing off with a member of Team Snag'em, the first time we have done this ever since the very beginning of the game. If you remember, the only other time we've ever fought an actual Team Snag'em member, other than Gonzap, of course, was very early on in Phoenix City. So it's kind of cool you get to do more of that here. Obviously, this is their hideout, but we don't really get to see a lot of these guys overall. They are pretty weak. They are more than likely going to have just 1 or 2 Pokemon on them. But, you know, if you just want to do a little extra training, maybe your Pokemon still need some levels. Mine probably still do at this point. It's not a bad idea to fight some of these optional trainers. So a lot of them are optional. Just keep that in mind so you don't really have to do it. But again, I would recommend just to be on the safe side in case you are a little bit worried about facing off with harder trainers later down the line, because there are so definitely going to be harder trainers. As you can see here, this is essentially the main office of the headquarters, or this hideout here. Essentially would be Gonzap's little main office here. You can see this pretty much where he probably hangs his hat. A lot of stuff on the table there. I don't know if they get, you know, they party it up too much in here or what they're doing, but you can tell why they are really not as important as a Cypher organization, because these guys don't have their crap together at all. I mean, who the hell would position their hideout in this nasty, rusty, old, crazy building anyways? Like, no wonder Wes made it explode. Like, holy cow, it is freaking, you can tell it stinks in here, and like it just isn't a good place to work at all. So but anyways, you know, just kind of moseying around here a little bit more. We're gonna see a lot more of this place than we ever dreamed we would. This place definitely resembles the inside of that warehouse or that building that Cypher had taken over in Pyrite. It's pretty identical. Even like there's a lot of vending machines and stuff that have you know, broken pieces and metal pieces all over the place. All right, so went ahead and cut this fight out with this guy. He wasn't anything too concerning. Again, he didn't have any shadow Pokemon. Most of these trainers don't until we get towards the end. So really no need to show many of the fights going on in this place, like I said before. But I'm just going to continue exploring. Again, nothing really to look at in here. It's pretty gross and nasty. Again, more fights with Snag'em hideout members if you want to choose to do that. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and do more of these and just not show most of them, just so I gain a little bit more experience. Moving right along. Yeah, looks like we have one Pokemon that's fainted there, and everybody else looks pretty good. We have an item box here down in this corner. We have some more PP ups. Haven't really utilized many of those in this game yet, so we probably need to do that very soon, because I can think of a couple moves that could use a boost in PP for sure. We have a door up there, but if we head down here, this guy is modeling or something. He's got the camera ready to go. No, actually, I always feel like that's a camera sitting there, but it's not. It's just like a little stand of some sort for maybe the snag machine or something. I'm not sure. Went ahead and got through that fight. Again, nothing really to see here. If he'll let me get through the damn hallway, I can go back up and go to where we actually need to go. A little diary there of some sort. So I'm not sure if they're taking notes. Maybe they're invoices for things that this company has illegally purchased or something. Who knows? These guys are insane. But anyways, we're gonna go up this door. Oh, where did that guy take off to after snagging my shadow Pokemon? Ah. So a little misleading there. Seems like, yeah, so that guy seemed like he was going to have a shadow Pokemon. He, in fact, did not. But if you pay attention to the dialogue, it sounds like he had it stolen from him. So never expected to see you again. Not like this, anyway. All right, so as we kind of make our way through these nasty rooms once again. So this room's actually kind of interesting. If you notice right here in the middle of the room, this giant machine is actually a snag machine. You can actually see Pokeballs that are still in the bottom of it. So it looks like this machine was either getting ready to be used or was just used recently before it was actually destroyed. What, Wes? It's been a while. Not since the mayor's house in Phoenix City. You quit Team Snag'em. There's nothing here for you. Or did you come out to see me, Rosso? Huh, if that's the case, I'd better not disappoint you. So this is Cypher Peon Rosso. Again, he is a member of the Mystery Troop. We already met and encountered one of them a couple of times, which was Verde. Again, this guy you do first encounter in Phoenix City in the mayor's house, and then he is one of the 3 blockades of the town that you get to choose to fight depending on which evolved Johto starter Pokemon you want. And he had and still has Shadow Quilava. Now, I have to be honest, this is a really cool idea. Being able to obtain not just one, but all 3 of the evolved Johto starters in this game is absolutely incredible. It's pretty freaking cool that they allowed you to do. It's pretty cool that they allowed you to be able to do this. However, at this point in the game, it absolutely makes 0 sense. You get the other 2 evolved Johto starters at level 30, which is also the same level that you get your first evolved Johto starter in the beginning of the game in Phoenix City. However, they did not do any sort of level spike to. They didn't make any level curve. They didn't actually add any level curve to make this make any sense, other than the fact that it's mainly just a nice reward for completing the main story, and this basically gives you the ability to trade these Pokemon to the GBA games. Like, that's all I can really make sense of why this has to happen at this point in the game. But again, you can't really complain having all 3 of the evolved Johto starters, I guess. I just don't really know if it makes sense for anyone to actually take the time to train those Pokemon up at level 30 when all of your Pokemon are most likely over level 50 by this point. It really doesn't make any sense, and there's really not much left of the game at this point. Like, it makes 0 sense to put any effort into training those 2 up unless you just really are dedicated to evolving them and having all 3 Johto starters in your party. Like, I guess that's the only thing that makes sense to me. But if you pay attention to the team that Rosso has here, you will notice that it is a very similar team to the team that Verde had when we faced off with him back in Railgun Tower. In fact, it's actually even similar to the very first team he had back in Phoenix City, except they are, of course, still evolved. So if you notice, Rosso and also Bluno, who's the 3rd member that we will also be locating as well later on, will both share some of the same team members that Verde had, which are Grumpig and Muck. I can't remember if the other members he has, like Breloom, I think maybe exclusive to Rosso. I can't remember for sure, but I know for sure that Verde had Grumpig and Muck because they started off as a Spoink and a Grimer in the first battle. So you can see that there are similarities here, and Bluno will also have those 2 team members as well, if I do remember correctly, and we will be actually confronting him and battling with him a little bit later on as well. So kind of interesting. These guys are not only 3 members of the same troop, but they also have a lot of the same Pokemon. But we went ahead and captured Quilava, not too bad. I honestly wouldn't recommend even attacking it because, again, level 30, like, you could very easily take it out, and I honestly don't know if you get another chance to capture the 2 Johto starters after this. I don't remember for sure. I feel like you have to. But it's safe to, it's much safer just to kind of keep throwing Pokeballs and you'll eventually capture it. But he is all mad now and fired up. Very fitting because he's colored red. Enjoy snagging my Shadow Quilava while you can. Oh, we will. There are still more Shadow Pokemon trainers out there. Well, guess what, my guy? We are going to find and stop every single last one of them, believe it or not. But that is going to do it here for Snag'em Hideout. That leads us back outside. We'll go and check our PDA real fast. Open up our snag list, and we can now see... yes, we are still missing Remoraid up there as well. We have now captured one of the big Shadow Pokemon, which was Quilava. Again, very nice to have another evolved Johto starter, even though we have absolutely no use for it in this game. Going back into the Snag'em Hideout, because of you, my standing in Cypher is in the dumps. You will actually find out that you can face other trainers by just simply re-entering the hideout. There really isn't any reason to do this. In fact, this is quite optional, but it's kind of cool to see this guy again. This is Scrub, the idiot that tried to destroy the Relic Stone when we first encountered him, and then we actually rematched him back in the Shadow Pokemon Lab, and turns out he's actually hiding out in the Snag'em hideout as well. So, kind of interesting. Again, this is completely optional. You do not have to re-enter this place yet. Keyword yet. But for now, it's kind of cool to see some of the other Cypher goons that we have encountered, you know, throughout the main story. And I probably have mentioned this already several times in this series, but I have to say, I yet again, love the idea of having some of these minor characters kind of reappear and have some interesting dialogue. I think it's really cool that they gave a lot of the characters and NPCs, not just the big honchos and the major ones like Mirror B, Evice, and Nascor, that they gave some of these minor characters some interesting dialogue and kind of iconic appearances, because these people you remember. Like, this guy is not only dressed differently from a lot of the other Cypher peons, but he has pretty memorable dialogue in the game, and he shows up in very important moments where you don't ever really forget him. And again, for that being a thing that they do for some of the little characters that don't really have a lot of story or a lot of contribution to the story, it goes to show that they really thought out and wrote. It goes to show what great writing and thought goes into this game, and it's really kind of cool to see that in a game like this. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm sure I've already kind of touched on that before, but it never hurts to say it again. But we are going to go ahead and demolish his team. He pretty much has the team that he had last time. I want to say his Golem was a Graveler last time we fought with him. So I think that's really the only change that he has here on his team. I could be wrong on that, though. Went ahead and paralyzed Wobbuffet. This thing is always annoying in battle. I always dread seeing one of these things because they always take forever to take down. I feel like Wobbuffet's defense and probably special defense is really high, and it takes just a lot of time to actually defeat it. And also, I don't really have anything that effective against Psychic type, which is what Wobbuffet is. And yeah, so that's kind of a problem. But we do have it paralyzed, so that slows it down a little bit. And it also is well known for using a lot of moves like Counter, Mirror Coat, which can be kind of a pain once they are actually inflicted upon you. Of course, knowing that you've already damaged it. So it looks like we finally finished him off. We took out Wobbuffet, and Scrub goes down. He has officially been scrubbed off the map. My standing is going to take another huge hit. Well, then stop trying to rematch us and act like you're Billy Badass and stuff. Come on. So now that we have cleared the way there, really nothing else to do here. We're just going to go ahead and exit once again and move on to our next destination. We're going to head back over to Phoenix City for now. And what do you know, the moment we arrive in a location, we instantly get an email. It's not almost like we've seen this before. Hey, it's Net. I analyzed the Shadow Pokemon list again and discovered 6 more. The additions are Ursaring, Skiploom, Quagsire, Tropius, Skarmory, and Sunflora. Look for more updates. So yeah, nothing really too important here. Again, you're going to be getting these emails from Net periodically throughout the rest of the game. So now that we are done with all of that, I actually took the time to go ahead and heal up my team, save, because I think this is a good stopping point. So next time on Pokemon Colosseum, we are going to be continuing the post-game story and hopefully locating the remaining Shadow Pokemon that are still out there and hopefully putting their misery to an end. So until then, I will see you later.